Today I'm going to show you how to froth milk without a machine at home in your own kitchen. The first 6 methods that I'm going to teach you are going to use tools that you probably already have in your kitchen. The last 2 methods that I'm going to show you do require special gadgets, but they're super affordable. Okay, let's dive in.
You'll need to heat your milk separately since you aren't using steam to inject heat. I like to do this over the stove because I can easily monitor the temperature. Don't heat your milk over 160 degrees Fahrenheit or 71 degrees Celsius. If you do, the milk will start to take on a cooked egg flavor, which isn't pleasant. I like to heat it to 155. That way it's in no danger of scalding, but it's warm enough that it won't cool down too much while you're frothing it. This method is probably the most accessible because pretty much everyone owns a whisk. Simply heat your milk, then whisk it vigorously for 1 to 2 minutes, or until you have the amount of frothiness that you like. The foam that you get from the whisk method is quite big. It isn't really delicate, but it is nice that you don't have to use any special equipment. A step above the whisking method is using a hand mixer. Heat your milk, then whisk it on medium with the hand mixer until you get the amount of frothiness that you like. I think that the quality of the froth is a little better using this method, but you do have to drag out your hand mixer. I think most people own a blender, so this method is also quite accessible. Heat your milk, but make sure your milk isn't too hot if your blender pitcher is plastic. It's best to put a towel on top of the lid to keep any hot milk from splattering everywhere. As you can see, I still had some leak out even though I put a towel on top. Blend on medium speed for about 1 minute. The froth that you get from this method is definitely better than the first 2 methods. It's more delicate and there's more of it. Now, I'm recommending this method with a caveat. If you don't do it the right way, you will have a big mess on your hands and possibly burns. So take all the precautions I'm going to talk about. Select a deep jar. A wide mouth quart jar is perfect. Only fill the jar about halfway. Don't do this in the mug you want to use or even the pot you warm the milk in. When you turn on the immersion blender, the warm milk will spray everywhere because it creates quite the whirlpool. The foam created with this method is actually really good. But not everybody has an immersion blender, and also, if you're not careful, you can create a mess. This method is super simple. Simply heat up your milk, pour it into a glass jar, put on the lid, and shake it up. I recommend holding the jar with a towel so that you don't burn yourself, and this also holds in any leaks. I find that the quality of the foam isn't super great, but this is really quick and easy, and most people own a glass jar, so this is another one that's really accessible. I think this method is really cool because you can make your coffee and your frothed milk all with one device. Simply heat your milk, pour it into the canister of the French press, and pump the handle up and down for about 8 to 10 seconds. I feel like this is the best secret hack for making frothed milk without a machine. The quality of the foam is actually quite good. I've been able to get some pretty decent latte art with this. So those are some ways that you can froth milk with equipment that you might already own. Now let's talk about a couple of specialized pieces of equipment. The first one is a handheld stick frother. These are very affordable. This one is from IKEA and I believe it's about $3 to $4. I've gone through a few of these though, so if you bump it up to the $20 range, you might have better luck with durability. What I like about these is they're very low profile. They won't take up much extra space in your kitchen. And they're also handy for making a single serving of whipped cream or even whisking matcha or cocoa to get rid of any lumps. The one downside I see with this little device is that I don't think that the quality of the froth is quite as good. But if you're pressed for space in your kitchen and also your budget is quite low, this is a great option. The second specialized piece of equipment is a hand pump frother. The quality of foam that you get from this is a little better than the stick frother in my opinion. The idea is really similar to that of the French press. You just pump it up and down to froth the milk. Heat your milk, pour it into the canister, and pump it up and down for about 8 to 10 seconds. If you already own a French press, this isn't needed, although it might be handy to be able to froth your milk while your coffee is brewing in the French press. Also, French presses aren't designed to be pumped up and down quickly, so they can be a little bit sticky while you're trying to pump them, but this little hand pump frother pumps up and down really easily.
So that's how to froth milk without a machine. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more food and cooking videos. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. All right. here we go. You don't need a fancy espresso. Ugh, already. So I'm here to tell you that you don't have to I can't talk today.